Hey guys, so we've been getting quite a few questions about the sails that we're planning for Delos 2.0. And I know that we've actually shown quite a bit of the deck hardware being installed, but we haven't shown so much about the design and the planning for the sails themselves. It is a really fascinating topic, and so I decided to sit down and do a deep dive with Joan from Quantum Sails. He's one of their behind the scenes gurus. He's gonna take us through the decisions, the design process, and some of the super cool technology they use to bring the sails to life in the virtual world before they come into the real world. Okay, that's it. You're gonna love this. It is super cool. Let's get into the interview. I'm drinking my rum because I've just gotten home from the yard and it's my relaxation time, so I'm having a nice little rum and Coke to start at the afternoon, and you have your coffee. Perfect. It's very cool because I've been excited to do this conversation for a long time. And so today we're here to talk about how we designed the sails for Delos 2.0. And part of that process involved an application known within quantum as IQ. And I'm told that you're somewhat of a genius when it comes to modeling fluids and fluid dynamics and the interaction of air and the stale material, and how the mass bends, and there's just so many variables. And I want to learn as much about it as I can, and I think our audience does as well. And so maybe you could just explain a little bit about what this is and what it means and how it's helped us.
Yes, of course. What's IQ? You started by naming it, and let's explain it. Is when you are selling, okay? You are hoisting the sails, and then suddenly you are trimming the sails, and the flow is starting passing through the both sides of the sail.
Yes.
So the solver captures this, and also it gets the completely pressures and how the sail is trimmed due to not only to the wind, but also the effect of the completely rig and mast. And finally, it reaches a final position that is your final trim. You can adjust by all that trim tools that you have on the boat, like main sheet, halyards, outhulls. I think that this is what we can reproduce in our FSI tool, that it's IQ. I think that this is the magic, to reproduce what is existing in reality with plenty of formulas, but then at the end, what we are doing is a virtual sailing.
So yes, so I read that what's different about your particular application is you are able to model both the airflow over the sail and the change in the boat, meaning the shape of the sail, maybe how the mast moves, because if you were to just do one or the other, you really wouldn't get the whole picture of the model. Like if you had a static sail and you varied the wind, or if you had varied the wind and then you had a static sail shape, then that really wouldn't capture it, because they're actually both sort of like changing and sort of like a dance back and forth.
Yes. So basically what we are finding is that balance. It's a kind of dance between the structural side and the aerial one, till they are reaching consensus and they are achieving a final moment in each of the stages, and this is what is the magic, that we can just trim the sail in any different condition and to get the resulting shape and position of all the elements, let's say displacements of all the points in the sail. You supply it as a sail plan, and what we basically did is to reproduce all the model with all the elements.
Looks
we
so
have
cool.
Different definitions, we have all the measurements. We can just, this is like a CAD software, where we are implementing everything. Any element on the boat, for instance, track positions, where they are going, sheeting, where the sheets go, where it will be the winches, where it will be all the position of everything, position of the templates, where the shrouds go, mainsail tracks, that where it goes exactly on the boat, we can reproduce, and all the attachment, sheeting, we can reproduce the outhaul. So any element, existing element on the boat, we can just get the forces, the reactions, and everything. The first part, that is only the geometry, it led us to define the real size of the cells and to start defining the laugh, leach, foot, and head, of all the cells. So what we are doing is converting this to a numeric value. So we are adding all the points and all the elements defined. And then the solvers take all this data and it managed to get the wind flow through the cells and get the resulting final state of the cell. Let me show you, for instance, one of the results. And this is the kind of thing that we analyze, that coloring map that you see here. That coloring map indicates us where the loads are distributed, where are the weakest points that we can just analyze, and also if every element that we define it, it has the correct size and orientation.
So you could see what would happen if we were to keep up full sail in like 30 or 35 knots of wind or something like that, and see where the fabric would be stressed or powered up too much.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. I think that we can reproduce any wind point and analyze it. Let me increase the resolution. So right now, I increased the resolution just to study more or less the effect of each of the elements. As you can see here, this is the radial cell as the concept at the beginning. So if I'm hiding the real cell, you can see here how we are following all the panels and all the directions, so we can analyze. Also, pay attention here, we have defined the first patch on the clue side. And if you take a look at here, when I'm hiding it again, just to see more the resolution, is look at the effect where the patch ends, So I think that we can just see where the patches is and what are the effect of the patches in every element. Right. This is a question that it worth to analyze that, first of all, the quantity of material, and in terms of material, I mean the correct fabric, is the correct one, and it's orientated in the correct direction. This is the cells made in hydronet, okay? But the same case, just using a cross-cut cell with a 6 ounce fabric, so you will see the real difference in what we are having. Let me put that aside. Let me make bigger.
So the first one you showed was the hydronet that we chose as a fabric. And now this would be like a fairly standard 6 ounce, like Dacron cloth or something like that?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let me go to put the same range as in the other one. Look at the difference.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, what does it mean to us? On the right side, what we can see is that the cell is stretching a lot.
Yeah. One
of the things that you need to be careful is this tool does not replace the designer. It's only a validation tool about what the designer is doing. So choosing the correct fabric, it's a validation. We do have an expertise and a library of designs that are dictating more or less what it will be the best fabric in each option. But what we are doing here is just validating. Can you see the leach here?
Yes.
And can you see the leach here?
Yes.
What we are seeing is that because it's stretching, trim it to the same sheeting tension and everything, the cells is stretching more, And I think that the cell, let me say this, deforms more, especially when we are not having the correct material. We could be seeing the wrinkle phenomena. You can see here that it has wrinkles on the bottom. So the cell is deforming due to that it has not much strength compared to the hydronet one.
Yeah.
Okay. We can go to the profile and analyze what is the real profile at 50%. So basically what we are doing here is that what is the shape here? If it's the one that we wanted to optimize, this is the correct cambers that we are expecting when we were designing the cell. So we validate this in each of the wind points that we are doing. In this case, this is the Genoa and the main. Let me put you a second reef, okay? This is sailing in 16 knots.
16 knots of true wind.
Yes. So basically, we can just reproduce the same, reefing the main, and also recalculating all the loadings, how it changes in the terms of patches and everything, and also to control the shape. This is important because working with the mast, if we want to go to the safety part, we can just say what are the reef heights to reinforce special parts on the mast. We can just assess in how the clew should be in the terms of height due to the folding the sail in the bottom and many other things. But again, when we are here, we can just go again and study what is the strain map and how it changes. Let me change the range so we can just increase the value. So anything is related. So of course, as much as we go to 30 knots, whatever, the sail is suffering a more stretch. And always what we are looking is in the worst condition. So tighten it, the sail very tight and everything. We are contemplating is in all the conditions, what is the worst scenario in terms of flooding in any part of the boat, in any element, and also in the sails, just to make sure that the safety factor is well applied. For instance, in this case, this shows us that it has a lot of reddish things. If we go back to the completely sail with the hydronet, the correct material, and we go to the same strain map, you will see that we do not see reddish parts on the complete body of the sail.
The IQ runs confirmed what we all believed from the beginning. The Hydronet fabric from Dimension Polyant is the perfect choice for Delos 2.0, and its strength and durability will perform well for us even in the most challenging conditions for years to come. Wow, guys, what an incredible amount of information. I knew that a lot went into sail design, but I had no idea just how deep you can get into it. We're still a few months off from being ready to have the sails sent to us and putting them on the boat, but I just wanted to give a huge shout out to the team at Quantum. You guys have been amazing to work with, and I have learned so much, so thank you so much for that. If you're looking for a new set of sails for your cruiser, your day sailor, your race boat, doesn't matter, anything, please give your local Quantum Loft a shout and let them know that Delos sent you. All right, that's it. Thanks very much. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below. I'll do my best to answer.
Woohoo!